Christian, make sure to come home from work today.
Huh? Why?
I have something I'd really like to talk to you about.
You wanna talk? I've got a drinking party tonight, so it's not gonna be possible.
Then, when you're back from that party, let's both talk a little.
No way! After the drinking party, I'm definitely gonna be sleepy. When I get home, I wanna go straight to bed.
But I have something really important to us to tell you about.
What could it possibly be? Do you really have something so important to tell me that you would stop me from sleeping? Just tell me right now if it's that important.
What? Right now?
Come on now, just tell me already.
I don't really feel like it's personal enough to tell you through text, but, well, I guess it'll have to do. Well, Christian, I've become pregnant.
What? Huh? You're pregnant?
Yeah. Recently I've been feeling a little bit off. And so I went out and bought myself a pregnancy test, just to be on the safe side. And when I took it, it showed that I was positive.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I even went to the woman's clinic right after to have the doctor make sure of it, and he said the same thing.
You're lying? If you start to bring a child into our life now, that means next year the cost of living for us is really gonna go up. Did you know that?
Huh? Well, yeah, but you're right. I think we'll start having to spend a bit more money on things. We'll need to start buying things in preparation for the baby as well, I'm assuming.
Could you just stop for a second?
What's up?
I wasn't really thinking we needed a child quite yet, though.
What do you mean? Are you not happy that I become pregnant with our first child?
I'm telling you that right now, the timing for a child is not good. With the kind of plan I have, I was hoping for another 3 years or so before we tried for a baby.
What plan is that you have? I never heard anything about it from you.
When you have your first child, you gotta be home more often, a lot more, and it restricts what you can do outside the house, right? As of right now, I really want to be out of the house working. And I've really wanted to spend at least a few more years making bank before bringing another life into our world. And yet you went ahead and made a thoughtless move by getting yourself pregnant. You are an idiot.
The fact that I'm pregnant right now doesn't have to do only with the choices I've made. Had you really not wanted for me to get pregnant right now, then why did you never wear a condom or anything like that? I'm not the only one you can be blaming for not thinking things through before acting. You are just as much to blame for this.
And I was under the impression that you've been on birth control and that there was no chance that you would get pregnant. If you could just look around and see that right now is not the time to be pregnant, you would understand how I feel, right?
Huh? Why are you saying things like that to make yourself look as though you did nothing wrong? I have no idea why you are that upset over this when you're just as much to blame as I am for this baby.
I'm mad at you because you don't have a brain in that head of yours, and you weren't thinking enough about our future together. This is the reason why I hate people that don't plan things out.
Well, if you wanted me to know the plan, then you should have told me about it sooner than today. Then I would have tried a whole lot harder to not get myself pregnant. Telling me all this now in that tone is just making me distressed.
Yeah, I get it now. But I'm just as distressed as you are.
Well, for the time being, there is no changing the fact that I'm pregnant. And that also means that this kid I'm carrying is not to blame whatsoever.
That's true. The only one to blame is the idiot on the other end of this phone.
You are not going to start hating me because of this baby, right? You're still going to love this baby, whether you're happy with me or not, right? You're not going to say things to them like you'd be happier if they weren't born, right?
That and this are two completely different topics.
Thank goodness. I'm sure that this has put a huge hole in that plan of yours, Christian. But we can still do our best to raise this baby.
But I don't think I'm ever gonna forget how you ruined this whole plan I had for us. I don't think I'll ever be able to trust someone like you ever again.
I see. I understand. But if you have anything you'd like to say to me regarding this, then you better tell me right away. If you don't let me know of other plans you have, or how you're feeling, then things like this could happen again to us.
Alright. When I get back from work, I'm gonna tell you everything about what I want from my life. And you had better not fall asleep before I get home. I'm already pissed off with you enough as it is, and you doing that would only further my hatred for you. Something came in the mail for you today, Mariana. What the heck is this?
Those are sheets for the baby that arrived. I know it's a little early, but some of my family sent them to me. They don't eat them anymore, so they wanted for us to have them. It would be too expensive to have to buy everything, right?
Is that what this is? Are you not gonna be getting anything else for the baby?
I actually wanted to get a stroller for the baby from my family as well. One of my family members still has one, but the tires on it are all broken, so they had to toss it. So I just decided that we'll have to go out and buy one instead.
Having to buy a lot of things for the baby is gonna drive me a bit nuts. According to my plan this year, I would have been able to save another $5,000 or so for my future. But if we have to keep on spending this kind of money on the baby, then I'll never be able to spend that much. It's all because of you that my life's plan has completely gone to waste.
And I've apologized to you for that plenty of times now. I'm trying my best to keep working right up to having this baby, in order to have as much money as possible for when they come.
And since this is all you're doing, I want you to promise me that you'll work right up to the very last day you can stand on both your legs before having that baby. Had you followed that plan I had before, you would never have had to work while being pregnant and could have stayed at home all day while I worked.
I still think it's a bit odd of you to blame me still for all that's happened. I don't even remember you ever having these kinds of plans before when we just got married. At least, I never heard anything about them from you.
I changed after marrying you. All thanks to Mr. Connors.
Isn't Mr. Connors your current CEO?
Have you not ever seen Mr. Connors' social media or anything like that before? He has thousands upon thousands of followers on all his accounts.
Really? That's amazing of him. Is he like some kind of influencer then?
Mr. Connors is a really influential business owner. It's insane for someone in their 40s to already have their company looking as amazing as his. He's got a lot of seminars all the time where he explains his logic, and even has books talking about how to get where he is at. In other words, he's my favorite man to read about.
Is that so?
And from what Mr. Connors has talked about, his most important thing is to make sure you have a plan set for the rest of your life. He said that planning things out financially for the future isn't something that only businesses do to make sure they're successful, but something that people have to do for themselves as well.
And so that's why you decided to start planning things out more around your life, right? You've been influenced by a successful CEO.
I want to make sure that things for me in the future are perfect, and that means taking the least troublesome paths. Our lives are short, so it all has to be done in the most effective manner, in order for us to get the most from it. And I feel like if I do the same exact thing that Mr. Connors does for his own life, then I might be able to close my success over to him someday. I want to become like him when I become 40 years old, you know?
You've been trying to plan out your life just like Mr. Connors has been? Are you sure that's okay for you?
What do you mean by that?
Well, have you been doing the same things as him? Like timing out when to have kids? Like, are you trying to be the exact same person as he is? And when did he have his kids?
He said that he had his own kids 2 years ago. It seems to him like the most important thing to do in your 30s is work, work, work. And once you're in your 40s, you can relax a little and then have some kids. He wanted to be able to make sure he was financially sound in his 30s, and so that in his 40s he would never have to expose his kids to any form of poverty. He's an amazing man, right? Knows all the right things to do.
Then that must mean his wife is in her 40s now as well, right? It must have really been hard on her health having kids at that age, right?
Nah, his wife's only in her 20s right now. They've got an age gap of around 13 years, I believe.
Wait, does all of that not seem a little bit strange to you?
What's so strange about it? I don't see a single thing wrong with what he's done.
You wanted to have kids when you started to enter your 40s?
That's right.
Well, when you enter your 40s, then I'd also be entering my 40s, right? Having to be that age and have kids would be a terrible thing for my health and could lead to all sorts of complications for me. The only reason Mr. Connors has been able to have kids in his 40s is because his wife is almost half his age now.
I mean, when you're in your 40s or your 50s, you can still make kids as a woman, right? And it's not like our healthcare is really bad in the US where they just let you die because you were unwell during the process. There have been plenty of people in the world who have babies when they're past the age of 40.
And I'm sure there are some people. But as a woman gets older and older, the risk of suffering some kind of adverse effect from the pregnancy grows. You and Mr. Connors both live in completely different worlds from one another right now, so I don't think his plan is going to work for you. I really think you need to rethink things when it comes to wanting to follow his life plans exactly.
Stop trying to talk to me like you understand anything. What I'm trying to tell you is that you better try harder to not get sick when you turn 40.
Do not say things like that to me.
You already ruined all my plans. And now you're gonna start talking to me like I have no clue what I'm doing?
Well, your plan for your life is just a copy of what someone else is doing, right? Really, you should be the one putting some thought into it and making an original plan for yourself.
Oh, I've been putting loads of thought into my plan, Mariana. I've been thinking about it for so much further longer than you have, so shut it. I've been putting a lot of time into making sure that things end up for me the way they did with him, and that has taken a lot of thinking on my end. So quit it with all these complaints when you have done squat to help me with my plans. You are just an amateur when it comes to this world, so shut your mouth.
But you seem to be trying really hard to make sure everything goes according to that plan, right? Are you sure you're not putting too much of your thought and time into that plan, when you could be putting it all towards something more attuned to yourself? If you continue with the same plan Mr. Connors has, then you're saying you're totally fine with me being at risk come my 40s. You don't care what happens to the babies and I?
You're just an idiot who has no idea what you're talking about. As long as I stick to this plan, everything will go perfectly for me.
You can't be sure of that though, right?
You're really getting on my nerves. All you seem to be for me is a roadblock.
A roadblock?
I just want you to shut up and do as I say, alright? But you went ahead and got pregnant with that brat now. And he's gonna put a huge dent in what's supposed to be perfect. So if you do anything else to piss me off any more than I already am, I'm gonna throw that baby away.
You do not say that to your pregnant wife. Acting like the baby and I are just items to you? Are you not happy that you and I were able to make a baby together?
I don't think so. It was not part of the plan I had for my life anyway, so there's no way I'm gonna be responsible for caring for it. All it is a waste of my money and time.
You're awful. Saying all that because things didn't go exactly as Mr. Connors had planned? You cannot speak of your child like that when this is not their fault.
This month I'm having to pay another 50% more on this credit card than I had to last month. Is it really costing you this much money just to get ready for a kid? This is exactly the reason why I didn't want us having kids yet.
Is that something a father says about their baby?
Well, this is all your fault. Don't get yourself pregnant without asking me first. My whole life's plan is gonna be completely ruined because of you and that kid.
This is your life's plan? You stop all that right now. All you've been doing is copying everything I've done to try to be half as good as me. You're fired from my company, and I want you to go back to square one.
Huh? Hold on, who is this? It's not my wife that I'm talking to?
My name is Franklin Connors. You should be able to know your own CEO's name, correct?
Huh? Is that really you? There's no way in hell you're my CEO. Why would my CEO be using my wife's phone anyway to talk to me?
It's because I'm with your wife right now. Your manager is Robert, right? I'll let him know that you're to be fired the second you're back at the office.
What? Are you really saying that my CEO is on the other end of this phone?
I already told you I am. So please stop trying to get me to repeat the exact same things to you. It's inefficient.
I'm so very sorry for questioning you, sir. But please, why are you with my wife at this very moment?
I'll have your wife explain that one to you later on. I do not want to waste all my day talking to a pathetic waste like you, so I'll get right to the point. I don't need you working at this company, someone that sees his wife and soon-to-be birthed baby as only items. I'm gonna have you off my payroll very soon.
Please, hold on just a moment. I am a huge fan of you and your life, sir. I really just wanted to end up like you as a person, and I've seen hundreds of your seminars already. There's not another man in this company that loves you and your life as much as I do.
And those that are important to my company are not people that love me and just want to be like me. I need people in my company that are good people who know how to think for themselves. If you really have been coming to all my seminars, then you should be aware that I really care about my family a lot, right?
Yes, I do.
But you've been ruthlessly forward to your wife and saying horrible things to her, and it's broken her heart. You're even talking about how you don't want the baby she's carrying for you. I don't want to hear it from you when you say things like that to your own family. Do you have a heart buried in that chest of yours?
I just happened to say things like that in the moment. Look, I really wasn't trying to say all those mean things to her.
Someone as selfish as you will never be able to be successful in this world. And you'll not be able to move up in any of our companies, that's for sure. I'm not even gonna let you say that you're part of my company anymore.
Please don't say things like that. I really did want to become like you all my life, Mr. Connors, and I've done everything to follow in your footsteps.
So even after all I've said to you, you're still saying that you haven't heard any of it? Well, I guess that would be the case since you don't even follow what I've said in all my seminars that all you are is fake, trying to be someone that you're not, which might look okay from the outside, but within yourself there is nothing. If you really want to become like me, a proper man, then you gotta cut the copying crap and start making life decisions yourself.
I'll try even harder, okay? So please, just don't fire me from your company.
I'm sorry, but I can no longer have any exceptions for you in the company. Goodbye, Christian. I hope you find yourself another job for yourself somewhere else.
Sir, please, listen to me.
Mr. Connors has told me he has to get back to work now.
What the hell is going on here? What do you think you're doing?
I'd been talking with Mr. Connors about you and what you've been doing. I told him that you're like some kind of creepy follower to him. And then I explained to him that you were using him as an excuse for allowing yourself to make horrible comments towards me and the baby. Then I finished by asking him to please help me. And it seems like he went ahead and read all those messages I sent to him about us. He told me that he felt really sorry for me and that he wanted to sit down together and talk things over about what's been going on with you.
It's all your fault that he's threatening to fire me from my job now. Why are you doing this to me? Now even Connors is gonna start hating me, his biggest fan. I'm gonna be destroyed.
It's not just that he hates you, Christian, but I think he no longer sees you as even being human. I think things from now on are going to be a lot more difficult for you.
How much longer are you gonna be staying at your parents' place? I want you to come back home right now.
I'm not going back there. I'm going to stay with my parents and have my baby here. I'm having our divorce papers sent to you, so make sure you sign all your parts, please. I'll be getting a settlement from you.
Why do you want a settlement from me now? You think I'll pay that?
The reason for me wanting to leave you is because you verbally assaulted me. Even Mr. Connor said it was a good idea to get a settlement from you after what you've done to me.
He said that to you?
And as a show of his apologies to me, he introduced me to a very good lawyer to help me win this divorce case. If so, I need his string. Mr. Connors is a wonderful man, and I wish I could have married someone like him. He has helped me out so much, all in just one sitting.
Why is Mr. Connors being an ally to someone like you? I've been the one who was always hoping to become someone like him, and I've been his biggest fan. I'm the one who knows a whole lot more about him in his life, and I should be the one that he wants to help.
And so what, Christian? You call yourself his biggest fan, but you have not listened to a word he said to you at those seminars. He even told you that himself, didn't he? He said you cannot be copying his life's plans and should be thinking of a plan that'll help yourself and your family. Just like I had told you a while back.
What the hell did you tell him about me to make him hate me so much? What could you have said to make him think that he could become that angry with his biggest fan? I tried to apologize to him just the other day at the office, but he still stood up and began to tear me a new one.
I only told him the things you had been doing and saying to me. You just happened to be a total prick to me all the time, and that was not going to fly in Mr. Connor's eyes. I even told him about what you were saying about our baby. But when you said that to me while he was looking at the phone himself, he lost all words to say. He just then muttered that you are a completely hopeless little boy, and then took my phone from me to start texting with you.
Please! Can't you get him to stop hating me? Tell him that you and I had just been in a fight and that you made me say all the things that like that to you. If you don't help me fix this, I really will be fired.
I'm not going to change how you look to him.
I had made all these plans for myself to have our family be happy forever. I'll apologize for being a little bit too strict about it. I'm sorry, okay?
Well, Christian, I also started to make a plan for myself. And a part of that plan is not having you in my life anymore. And even Mr. Connors thinks that's a good idea, since he's getting rid of you from his company as well. So, for the sake of both the company's plan and my own plan, get the hell away from us.
I don't want to. Stop trying to act like I'm the one that caused all this to happen.
There's no way that's true.
Just like you told me, I'm gonna start thinking for myself a bit more. So please just put me back into your life's plan so we can be together forever. I won't make you regret it this time.
Nope, it's all over for you now. I have to make sure I go with a plan that doesn't involve you ruining not only my own life, but the life of my baby as well. And that's why, as a part of my plan, you are to never be in my life again. Take that empty head of yours and go somewhere else where people plan on having you around. After that, Christian tried again and again to apologize to his CEO about what had happened, but no matter how hard he tried, Mr. Connors was not changing his mind. And in the end, Christian ended up losing his job for good. It seems that after that day, his pride took a nosedive, and he no longer had it in him anymore to accept what had happened. He started to go around saying that he chose to leave that company, but since nobody would listen to him, he started to realize he was ruined for good, and then moved back to his parents' house where he's locked himself inside. After that, he stayed in his room all the time and used whatever money he did have to start messing around with stocks. His last-ditch effort was to try and make it big through the stock market, but after putting a lot of money into all the wrong places, he lost whatever saving he'd had left. With no money to his name anymore, he began to totally rely on his parents to care for him for a little while. But after that little while had passed, his parents grew very tired of having to baby him and kicked him out of their house. He left their house without even one complaint, and now nobody really knows about what's happened to him. As for myself, I happened to give a healthy birth, and my baby turned out to be a boy. I also had myself read one of those books by Mr. Connors about his life, and started to think of some things for myself based off his life. I can see by just how amazing this book was that one would really start to like someone like Mr. Connors a lot. But I'm only going to respect his life. I will never copy his life's plan one for one like Christian did. Everyone has to know that you will not have the exact same life as someone else has, and that you should never do the exact same things they do. But of course, people like Christian are not aware of that, or at least weren't, and thought they could get away with trying to copy another person completely. Well, I'm going to make sure I'm never like Christian and will only use other people's lives as a way of thinking up new ideas for my own life, and then acting on those. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.